manage it. I was fortunate enough to have 6 sisters in my family, you know, uh, and we come from a pretty close knit family. And my mother, she was a cook also at one of the elite restaurants here in Fort Wayne. Bob had his trolley bar, so it's kind of passed down, And my sister, my brother, he cooked at Colonel Sanders. Him and Dave put together. Dave that started Wendy's. See, so my whole family was cooked. My dad, I could go back and name people that my family had cooked with. So once I got this restaurant in the 70s, and I was opening it up on Thursdays after I get off work, after I get off work from Harvester, and I was trying to do all of this. I was doing it by myself. So my sister, Willa Mae Hendricks, and my sister Georgia Butler said that while I was working, they really wasn't doing anything during the day. Why didn't they come down and run it for me? So that's how that come about, me working and having a restaurant. And my karate classes was Monday and Wednesdays, I believe, and then on Saturdays they were like 2 hours. So I would go to karate at like 6 to 9 in the evening after work. I would say that in a cotton field, because when you come out of a cotton field, buddy, I'm gonna tell you, I don't think there's anything you can't do, because that is manual labor. That's what that is. See, and it wasn't like you went to work at 7 or 8 in the morning and worked at 3 or 4 in the evening. And that's what you did in a factory from 7 to 3, 3:20, 3:30, somewhere around there. But see, in a cotton field, you work from sun up to sundown. See, that's 5 or 6 in the morning to 7 at 8, maybe 9 at night during the summer months. So once that's instilled in you as a child, that's your work ethics basically. So working at International Harvester, and that was child's play to me compared to the work that I had been accustomed to. See, before I went to International Harvester, I had other jobs. See, I worked in a car lot, I washed windows, I worked at Parkview Hospital, I worked at Van Orman Supper Club, in the kitchen, washing pots and pans, and I went from there to a short order cook and things of that nature. See, it's a whole lot that, I skipped over. So, and that was at Van Orman's, get up at 4 in the morning, go to Westfield and pick up 4 or 5 guys and be out at the Sand, the Van Orman Supper Club, at 6 in the morning as a breakfast cook, because those guys didn't have a car. This is right out of high school at 18 years old. See, so when you do that, and then when I got off there at 3 o'clock, I was over parking trucks at 4 o'clock till 10, 11 at night. So to me at that time, anybody didn't have 2 jobs, they were lazy, because I had been used to working in the cotton field all day, see, from sun up to sundown. So, no, they don't have it. Is anyone to tell you, the kids today, as far as stick-with-itness, and, the old saying is, crawl before you can walk. They don't have any of that. Everybody wants their pie and ice cream right now. Everybody is looking for a handout. They don't want to work and earn it like I did, and most people of my generations. My own kids, they have college degrees. I don't have a college degree, you know, but I can truthfully say they have good jobs, but the drugs, the gang violence, I think it started at home. You know, these kids nowadays, and a lot, see, I went to school with a girl, I had a kid at 14. So they can say, well, it's kids having kids. When I was in school, it was a girl had a child at 14. That child, to my knowledge, never went to jail. He's still living today, and he's a professional. So I think it goes back to the parents and also to the laws that they made. You know, as you know, if you did something as a kid, they told your dad or your mom, you got a what they call a whooping, a spanking. You know, you got chastised, you got punished. Now, if a kid, and that was the fear. Now with all of the education and the psychologists and all, says that damage a kid. You know, I didn't go to prison or go to jail. I don't consider myself being damaged, but I do know if you don't put fear in a child, you don't get the respect later on. So I knew if I did something out of line, what was going to happen. A lot of times, that person that saw me do it would discipline me. You don't have that now. If that happens, they want to sue that person. And once the child knows nothing is going to happen to them, regardless of what they do, you can't control them. So if you can't control them, where are you going to get them to work or have the incentive, you know, to do what they need to do, or to stick to itness, you know. It was a whole lot, you know, probably double the time that this is running that I left out as far as the different jobs and the things that I had to do in order to keep the job after school, you know, and things of that nature. But nowadays, as far as how we get it back is put discipline back in the homes, you know, and like they say, spare the rod and spoil the child. That's a true saying. If the child don't respect you, you know, if I tell him, don't mark this wall up with a crayon, and he'll go mark it up, and I said, well, I told you not to do that. That's just a word. It don't mean anything to him. But if he put a mark on that wall, and I take his hand, I don't mean abuse the child. Take a ruler or hit him in that hand. When he go to that wall again, he's gonna look around to see where I'm at, you know. And I said, you do that again, chances are he's not gonna do it. If you do, if he did do it, does do it, you do it to him twice, he's not gonna do it anymore.
That's where it begins.
That's where it begins, at home. Discipline.
The mission of Hackonomics TV is to contribute to the Black consciousness movement going on across America, and to dismantle and destroy the Willie Lynch slave mentality and lessen the impact of historic white supremacy on our individual and group mindsets. Good night.
The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups.